Buddy, welcome back to another episode of Cultist Anonymous. Before we venture once more into a sea of stars, please allow me to thank everyone out there that's helped support our show, be they folks at Roll20 or our lovely members of our Patreon. A special shout out to Adele, Alis, Al, Alexander, Alpha Wolf, Alsrit, Bernie, Buck, Chris, Doc, Emil, Ethan, George. Ianthe did nothing wrong. I'm the Real 06. James, John, Josh, Camo, Cat Feathers, Klaus, Leroy, Melissa, Milo V3, Moku, Mozart D minor, Noctal, Other Guy, Perry, Foog, Porter, Puppeteer, Riafio, Ryan, Sean, Shixara, Starfish, Thomas, Verhext, Vincent, Vortex Falcon, and Zoltan. Thank you as always. I know we have been gone a little while, and that's because life happens. And
no,
various situations developed. Mainly, the weeks that each of us needed off were not synced
At all.
We're just like, hey, 3 out of the next 4 weekends, one of us is going to be gone. Whoops.
Yeah.
And then,
We didn't coordinate well
things
with the
happened on that
universal
third week.
scheduler.
So, but I hope you all had a wonderful October. I'm sorry
Hope it was
that we
very
did not
spooky.
get to be spooky for you. And we are back in the crumbling dystopia of Earth. As a reminder to ourselves and to you folks, what happened last episode is that we finished up the mission of investigating what was happening in the city of Neo Elysia as a sort of religious uprising was happening, and it turned out that there was a Leviathan influence. The Leviathan Eris was causing chaos and discord. And our heroes, our pilots, journeyed forth into the city strictly, confidently off campus, breaking all their rules and regulations, and spectacularly avoided whatever disaster and control the Leviathan Eris had, as the duo of Saraia and Lily discovered the roots of a giant Leviathan tree growing in towards the central core of the city, where the power source that allows humanity to exist, the Prometheus engine, is. And in a extra fantastic display of connection to the engines, Malphus and Janice were able to sort of summon their engines, which ripped out of the side of our I don't know, I've forgotten the name of the ship.
Argo.
The Argo, and sort of caught them in midair as they dove into the ocean off of the top of the city.
I do believe I get to claim dibs on doing it first. Janice just Vegeta'd it.
It was derivative.
Fair. Yeah.
I did it better.
Yeah. Maja and Janice showed up. Exploded a crowd of people, left, no questions were asked. And we had a spectacular, artful, flowy fight under the water as our pilots, both on foot and in the engines, defeated this evil tree Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
The underwater upside down
Upside down tree. Yeah.
Nah.
It was cool. It was great.
It's great.
And it was like kind of squishy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tree is just the best word we have for it, right?
Yep.
Tendrils.
And like weird eye fruits.
Yeah. Yeah, all of the golden apples of the tree were eyeballs of some sort. And Janice, you ate one of them.
Oh yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Shark style.
Your engine full on bent the properties of, I mean, now that you're sitting there and like in the, we'll get to it in a second, but in the come down in the fallout, you're like the engine did so much more than we thought it could ever do. And like, is it alive?
Yeah.
There are a lot of questions to be asked, and unsurprisingly, you'll find out very few answers being given to you. So on that note, why don't y'all hit me up with some obligation rolls?
Yes.
Your lowest stat category.
You got it. We're keeping it 1. Called keeping it 100.
Damn, Lily's got minimum 2 dots. So does Malphus. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh yeah. Finally.
Yeah,
You know
not
what
half
that
bad.
You're gonna be unstoppable now.
No.
The only
you know
thing
what it
holding
actually
you-
means? It means she could take more risks before she eclipses.
Yep.
We're gonna do crazy things. It just means it starts earlier.
Just more crazy things. Excuse me.
Fair.
Mhm.
Yes.
More, comma, crazier, comma. All right. So
This is
That's
the
a-
best
an
situation.
actual 4 from Malphus, not a roll 0.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah, you guys got some dots.
Yeah, for Malphus to get up to 3, it would mean he would actually have to skill up forgive.
Forgive? Yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not really his thing.
No.
I like that in all the time of playing this game, none of you have gotten a 6 on this roll.
Yes.
Ever.
Nope. Hasn't happened.
Incredible. I
Yep.
had 2 in my game on Wednesday.
Wow.
Wait,
Really?
what the hell? Yeah.
Someone was like,
Not stressing.
"Get on my face."
Great. Do I have any volunteers?
I gotta remember what moon is related to.
I'll
Stand the
go
thing, it will
first.
tell you.
Despair and heartbreak.
Despair and heartbreak.
Yeah, I can go for it.
I got an idea
Wonderful.
after you.
Also, if anyone was rolling sun as their minimum, we should have had +1 die.
Oh, really? Oh, yes. Come on. That's right. I forgot. Come on. All right.
No.
So Ash, you'd have another roll as well.
Oh.
A 5. That's
There
an
we
improvement.
go.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Yeah. To set the scene
Mhm.
for Saraia, you to set the scene for all of you, it is the next day. There is no downtime for
No
the no rest for the wicked.
So,
Mhm.
so Saraia still got her lacerations and stuff, and
Yeah, you're all definitely hurt still, whatever those are there. Yeah, because that you don't heal up just because we took a month off in IRL.
yeah.
We do redo our stress though, yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
your stress is reduced back to 0, And your links are gone.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
you have your use of your armor and special armor back.
Great, excellent. No links on Medea.
Saraia, you wake up this morning.
Always a good
and-
start.
Yep. Off to a great start. So far so good. Does Saraia talk to herself very much? Like going about her day-to-day business or whatever?
Um,
Like in the privacy of your own.
I think it would be more internal. Like there's always a running dialogue going on in her head, not
Mhm.
so much out loud.
Okay. The running dialogue in your head today is like really, really in sync.
So I think that's pretty cool, but Craig is a little worried.
Yeah. So normally there's kind of a rhythm between your two sort of selves, right? Back and forth and the thoughts and reflecting on things. And it's almost like that's happening way faster. Like if you sit there and think about it for a second, Sarai's like, okay, there is a delay, right? It's not instantaneous. And the first time that you speak out loud that day, you speak with two voices.
Oh,
Oh boy,
This is fine.
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be difficult to explain
Uh-huh.
to people that don't already know.
It's
Which
going to
is
be difficult to
everyone?
explain to anyone.
Anyone. Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be like, it's fine. See what happens.
About 30 seconds after you discover this,
Mm-hmm.
there is a on the door.
Of course, there is.
Pilot Saraia, please report for debriefing regarding the incidents of yesterday. And just sort of like through your like viewpoint, like tablet or whatever, you can just see like who's out in the hallway, and it's like 4 armed guards.
Um, worse than I'd hoped, but better than I expected. So that's good. Without saying anything, Saraia will follow them, I suppose.
Cool.
And
You are
like just on the way, she'll like try and practice to try and get her voice raised again, just quietly under her breath, kind of thing, if that can work. But I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah, I think that's. Give me a fortune roll, just a
Sure.
single d6.
I'm just imagining this is similar to the like you're now breathing manually thing. It's like I used to be able to just talk with one voice.
Okay. You're able to sort of, under your breath, try to stop it or
Mhm.
figure it out or make it be less, intense. It does not work. But you're not overheard by these guards immediately. You are marched off campus.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
Further up higher into the city. And
Oh, it's one of those interviews.
yeah. There is a high likelihood that you see one of the others will get to their scenes soon.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Their actions, I'm sure, will be telling of their characters.
Yep. Yeah.
But you are led up to a building up higher in the city, and then
I can just try to interject for a moment.
Mhm.
Sarai's intention, if she sees somebody else, is to just give them a warning that this is probably going to happen to them, sort of with an exchange of glances or whatever. Okay, just so
if
they
you
don't
do
get.
cross paths with them, they're already in the company of their own sets of guards.
Okay.
So, and you are led to a beautiful. important, higher up building, lots of columns and decorations, and like more or less like some of the highest points of the city where a lot of very important people do meetings and things. And then you are taken through an elevator down deep into the city to a gray metal box of a room.
Yeah.
And there is a man there in, standard nondescript clothing for the environment of the culture and everything.
So just to make sure that I have the scale of how much shit I'm in. This isn't a headquarters disciplinary hearing. This isn't a Senate hearing. This is I'm going down to the Situation Room.
This is a CIA black box room.
Okay.
You.
It's so good.
Yeah, I think you would have the immediate understanding of this is, at the best case for you, an attempt to control the narrative of what happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Worst case scenario, this is a room that nobody will hear you scream. So
yeah. And this, I mean, he's like the most nondescript guy ever, right? Like your eyes almost want to like slide off of him as he's just sitting there. And he attempts what on anyone else would be like a charming smile. But like an attempt at like a disarming smile.
Sure.
Like, Mike Pence.
Why don't you sit on down? Oh God. You're not wrong though.
I think he's going for a disarming, but it's coming across as Chucky.
Yeah. If Uncanny Valley was a real person,
Mike Pence.
Yeah.
It's Mike Pence.
I'm just glad I said Uncanny Valley, because 9 times out of 10 when I go to say it, I say Silicon Valley, and then people just look at me like, "What?"
That's not a thing.
That's a different type of guy.
Thing.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley is facilitating the Uncanny Valley.
I know. And he's got an actual like wound up like manila folder. You're like, I have not seen paper in what are you doing down here? Why do you have this?
Precious
paper can't
resource.
be copied as easily.
Yeah.
He's the only one in the room.
The guards are outside of the door.
Are there any like obvious surveillance devices or anything?
Absolutely not.
Okay. There's probably 30 or 40 unobvious ones. Yeah.
Sure. Why don't we start with the events of yesterday evening from your point of view? Let's start with the part where your team
save the city.
Through a couple pages.
That's what you want to talk about? How our team saved the city?
As always, the city is grateful for the work that the pilots do. But let's start with the laundry list of regulations and honestly court-martialable offenses that you all committed just in leaving campus during a lockdown.
To save the city.
The time at which you left, did you understand or have orders surrounding the fact that there was a Leviathan incursion happening?
Greg is trying to remember here because it's been a month.
No, you had no idea.
Yeah.
There was people things happening, and you were like, we're gonna go help, maybe.
The answer is always yes.
Yeah, we were not acting under any orders. There's a kimchi place I really like.
Yes. Saraia, it's changed for the better. Flippant. This is great.
We hear the Neolesian Bureau of Discretional Intelligence are not possessed of a sense of humor. Please omit yours from the conversation.
I understand it's not on your scale of issue. Honestly, we have loved ones and friends out in the city, and we were concerned.
Yes,
and
we know.
we wanted to look after them.
And so you're just saying that the peacekeeper forces of the city are incapable of doing their jobs? We need some gung-ho pilots to go off and cause further chaos in the middle of a potential crisis.
We didn't leave as pilots. We left as citizens of the city, concerned for our friends and family.
You are not citizens of the city. You are pilots. You are military personnel whose sole task is the defense of the entire Earth, not some people in the city. But let's talk about something more interesting.
And my voice is still doing the thing. He's not reacting.
Oh yeah,
to it at all?
yeah. He's been
Okay.
not reacting to it at all. But
Okay.
it's about time now. What does the name? And then it's been long enough that I've forgotten. What is your partner's name?
Tamara.
Tamara. Does the name Tamara mean to you?
She was my squad leader.
Mm-hmm.
We were pilots in a unit. And you have it all on the record there.
I have the official records. And then pulls out an actual tablet.
Mm-hmm.
And plays back part of your conversation, and it splits the recording off. It's playing back both voices separately, and he mutes yours, and then has Tamara's voice playing back all of the flippant answers that you've given. Now this is extremely interesting, right?
It was a rough day yesterday. I've just got a bit of a frog in my throat.
Uh-huh.
Like, what do you want me to say?
I just think, honestly, we should be celebrating because you seem to want to be the voice of the people, and now you have two of them.
What's your curiosity about that?
Our curiosity is finding out if you have been controlled or affected by continued exposure to the Leviathans.
So you know that from the record that mission was where I first exhibited transcendence. That's where I got selected for the pilot program in the aftermath of that mission.
Mm-hmm.
That's all part of the public record.
transcendence, as you put it. And then there's any like sense of even trying to be affable is gone, right? And it's this very sneered like agent from the Matrix sort of vibe, right? Transcendence is an old, well, I'd say wives' tale, but none of you ever lived long enough to actually talk about it.
It's what allows us to do what we do with the engines. Maybe you folks in the...
It is a sign of exposure and decay on a cellular and spiritual level. When pilots begin exhibiting these symptoms, there is often wild and unpredictable circumstances that develop afterwards. You think we haven't studied this? Do you think you are the first? Do you think you are special?
Well, just as a matter of probability and calculating how many pilots we've actually had over the years, I think I am special to a certain degree. All of the folks in my unit are. And humanity relies on us and can do so because of our special ability, our affinity with the engines, our ability to push them beyond their limits. And as we proved yesterday, our ability to find, attack, and defeat Leviathans. So
As
you tell
always.
me if we're...
The city of Neolesia is, of course, proud of our pilots in their defense of the Earth.
Mhm.
I would just if you have any important belongings in your quarters that you wish to take with you when you inevitably are drummed out, you might want to begin organizing them.
They told me that wasn't an option.
Mhm.
I think we'll cut it there.
Okay.
Obvious implications of like blackmail against you and this like two-voice thing, and yeah.
Can I get just a read on this? Because there's some like stuff that's obvious to Saraia in the record, like Tamara's body was never found, for example, and that kind of stuff. Does this guy have any, like, is he following breadcrumbs along those lines, or can I get a read on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's more conversation that happens rather than just what we said, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get an idea for how much he knows.
From your understanding of the conversation, because Saraia is pretty perceptive conversationally and emotionally and stuff like that. You get the idea that they have an incomplete understanding of transcendence and stuff like that, and the things that surround the things that you can do and why you can do them. But they've got a pretty good idea of what what the symptoms of that look like in a person.
Right.
And it is a not huge leap of logic that whatever this department that you've never heard of before is likely to be tied in with the oracles in the selection process.
Okay.
And you know, by the time you leave that room, you know deep in your heart that if you were to talk about any of this, you would be disappeared very quickly.
Oh yeah.
Next.
Yeah, I think for Malphus, especially this whole heartache kind of vibe, it's the he knows that he did the right thing, and like he went to bed in his quarters knowing he may not wake up because he is on camera, just slightly off camera, I think.
Killing the priest, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he's like, I might not wake up in the morning.
He rolled moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What mech answered your call last time?
Sisyphus? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I actually was allowed Sisyphus
Yeah,
because
it's the one you want, but weren't allowed to have.
right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So your scene is you probably don't sleep much that night, right? You're prepared to be like black bagged in the middle of the night and
Yep.
everything like that, and it never comes.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's the worst.
Sitting in the chair with the shotgun, just waiting, waiting, and waiting. Not literally.
And you find that your door is locked if you try to leave eventually in the morning. And there is basically no outgoing communication is possible.
Mm-hmm.
But you're able to like get word from your co-pilots and things like that. And then as you're just, I feel like I know Malphus well enough that like being stuck and bored is like his worst nightmare,
Yep.
right? And just not being able to do anything
And being let alone with his thoughts. Yep.
Yeah. You are, I mean, there's still like food and everything in there. Like you're just like all your needs are met, right? It's just fucking bored.
Mm-hmm.
And you start going stir crazy. And right about time it hits peak, like I'm gonna do something about it. You receive a encrypted file emailed to you. And you're able to work out that it is from Persephone.
Ooh.
Got one ally on the outside at least. Yeah. Might as well open it.
It is a extremely technical report in the style of like a court proceeding
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing. For the for a emergency hearing of a decommission process.
Oh.
Hang on, decommissioning a Mac?
Uh-huh.
I'm coming out the fucking window. Don't you fucking dare. Yeah, like I think he just like, this is boring, blah blah blah, decommission, hang on, Sisyphus, and I'm sure is right. Yeah.
There's just lots of like keywords and like, I mean, half the shit is redacted even like in the second it's happening. Like if you can imagine someone like someone just like immediately like strike that from the record, like every other sentence, like
Yep.
yeah, it is pieced together, scrap, because I mean this is like Persephone wouldn't even be, should be allowed to like be outside the meeting and like report in if they needed like a witness and stuff like that for the repair and like the mechanical bits of the mech. But like there seems to be there's some coded things that she's included here as well that you can decrypt, and it's just lots of flashes of the words like aberrant and corrupted, continued exposure to wall of black box missing text.
Yep.
Yeah. As far as how you respond to that scene, we'll get to that in your downtime.
Okay.
But that's the stress right there, right?
I dig it.
Let's go to Lily.
Mm-hmm.
That black bag that Malphus was waiting on is there for you.
Jeez.
Further things that are going to piss off Malphus.
Yeah. I mean, because you rolled sun, so that's the.
Yep.
I mean, you got a 5, so it's not that bad, right? But it is that like startling, like immediate fight, flight, freeze. Oh fuck! Reaction of like you were dead asleep and suddenly you have, black bag over your head. You can't see anything. You're being dragged and thrown around.
I actually don't know that she's sleeping because she does still have the like mental overload from having tapped into the entire city buzzing around in her head. So I feel like she was probably just sitting on the floor pressed up against the wall in that same position that she had been in the hallway before, just feeling it.
Fair. Fair. Not asleep then. Then it is a violent bursting into your quarters and like five of the biggest burliest dudes, like zip tie, duct tape, head bag, disappeared, and the next thing you know, you are in a stainless steel walled nondescript secret interrogation room. Still with the hood on your head, but they've removed the duct tape by the time you could come to a little bit. But Lily, are you with us?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us today.
Uh-huh.
I hope you find your accommodations meeting your needs.
Just nodding, not really saying anything.
Do you have anything you'd like to start off this conversation with as we discuss what happened yesterday?
No.
And someone just fucking hits you.
Jeez.
And I'm gonna not lay it on and like fully describe a torture scene here, but essentially like you're interrogated in a mid 2000s US American style.
Yep.
What was that shit that fucking Rumsfeld, that fucking war criminal, said? Enhanced interrogation tactics? Yeah. Anyways, let's.
But he wasn't a war criminal. That's the hideous part.
And yeah, she's just not saying anything.
Cool.
It's all just monosyllabic.
Yep. At some point, they either determine you can't take any more, or they get bored of you. And I think you wake up back in your room, and the bruising is obvious and stuff like that. So it's not like that was a really bad dream. It's like, no, this was intentional. But I like the fact that you just like have chosen to not give anything.
Yeah, I feel like she wasn't mentally there, right?
Yeah.
So like she's borderline dissociating through the whole thing and just flat nothing answers.
Cool. That'll go great as we move forward. Somehow only one stress.
Again, mentally not really there.
Yeah. All right, Janice.
Yeah, baby.
What was your roll?
5.
5. Okay. I don't want to speak for you. Does Janice sleep that night?
Janice does this. After everything goes down, she's coming down. The first thing she does is she checks to see if Malphus is going to die during the night. She asks herself, Oracle style, did I prevent Malphus from dying today?
Yes.
It seems like we won. And so she asks herself. And as soon as that happens, she falls immediately to sleep.
Cool. You wake up in the morning, and you have a big flashing notification on your datapad.
Cool.
It says, report immediately to the engine bay of the Argo for emergency contaminative testing.
Oh, shit. Okay. She grabs like a jacket.
And yeah, when you step outside, there are like hazmat suit fuckers.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And they like shove you back in with a suit to be put on.
That makes sense.
And then sort of frog march you in a like big yellow hazmat suit up to the Argo.
Awesome.
And I think what did you roll?
5. Sun.
Sun.
Oh, sun. Didn't any of them see me in the suit? Any of that happen? Can I do finger guns?
I'm gonna say Saraia sees you. You're kind of getting like this timeline wise is like very on point for those two things.
Fantastic.
And it's just this quizzical look from some others, and you are marched up to the Argo, and
she's doing finger guns like in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. You are marched up to the engine bay, the deploying engine bay, where repairs are ongoing with the engines. There is a gigantic set of like, it looks like it's metallic, but it looks like obsidian.
Oh, okay.
Like obsidian bands, strapped around,
Medea?
Around Sisyphus.
Oh, okay, yeah, wow, okay.
And then there is, you look over and, the sorry, I really just had an entire brain fart.
No worries.
The entire section of the Argo that your two engines like ripped out of,
Yes.
is just like open to the air and seems to not be the immediate priority. As no one has even begun fixing it yet. They haven't even worked out a crane situation or anything.
Like jagged and open.
So there's just like, you're several hundred feet above the sea, and there's just this like opening in the side of a spaceship to look out. And it's like that's like past in the background of what you're looking at.
Yes.
As like I said, Sisyphus has been like banded with this like very strange like obsidian material. And it's like the arms of the mech are like chained to its side, and then there's like a like collar situation down to its like it is
that's
very immediately hard. Like this has been put on lockdown.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, it's got to be hard for Sisyphus, for the mech, right?
Yeah.
Being in chains.
This is not the thing that upsets you though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just the appetizer.
Medea is in pieces.
Okay, Janet starts growling uncontrollably.
There is a like squadron of hazmat suited like faceless people that have like disassembled, like the core has been pulled out very carefully. And there's like scientists doing clickety clackety science at it.
Yes.
And then everything around the rest of the mech has been disassembled like piece by piece.
Wow.
And is like being scrubbed and taken apart and like Geiger countered and like spectrographed and like
more technobabble here.
Yeah.
They're doing science at it.
Yeah, they're doing science at it. And the results are inconclusive and people are getting frustrated. They've been doing this for the entire time you were asleep. And you can tell there's like, I mean, even the chatter through the like muffled mechanized sort of voice that puts out through the suits is like, I can't believe we're still doing this, but like we haven't found anything, it's fine. And there's this like very like grumbling undercurrent, and then it is quickly like, shut the fuck up. And you are
so the engines have their own motivations and personalities. This was productive.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah. That's why Janet was growling.
But what they know is that this mech turned into a shark and ate part of a Leviathan. So you know, we gotta kind of
activated itself.
Yep. Yeah, that too. If anything of the situation scared them the most, that is the thing that scared them the most. That is what they're reacting to. They can deal with pilots doing things. The engines deciding that they want to do their own thing, that is not good for the sort of totalitarian state.
Yeah.
And so basically it is a like day-long scene of you being scienced at. You know, blood tests and all that kind of stuff, and then just putting you through exercise paces, figuring out like running you through the VR simulator again of like them like replaying what you did yesterday and all that, and searching. Basically you get the idea that they are trying to exhaust you to see if any cracks in any sort of like mental armor of pretending that you're not okay breaks, right?
Yeah, that's excellent.
And with a 5, you put up with it pretty well.
I have an offer.
This is fine. Yeah.
So the one lingering regret was that what she did not achieve the goal of stopping Malphus from dying. This is the closest that they've got from her perspective. This is what she's thinking is what we came back for, right? Not just the Last Bastion being destroyed, but if anything could lead to him dying and her failing, it's a Leviathan being right there. So she goes to sleep, right, because she's like, Malphus isn't going to die. So then they're like, please tell us what you did. We want to make sure that you're okay and you didn't make a mistake or you didn't do something stupid. And she gets to relieve a validation of her having made the right choice and having her and Medea feeling in that moment truly in sync and wanting just to eat, just to save. So it feels invigorating to her. Whereas long ago, this kind of experience would have just been exhausting.
Hell yeah. I love that. At one
kind of like
point,
how, like, we're almost seeing different factions at work here because we're all treated so very differently.
Yeah.
There's probably some arguments behind the scenes on who was going to get who.
That was actually something that I had planned on some parts of these scenes prior, was that I wanted to show that, like, it's not just like a few people that'll come and talk to you and everything. It's like there's a disparate and huge chain of command, and like the city is sprawling and immersive, and yeah, like almost certainly the four factions that you've all just seen, like each of you has just interacted with different parts of the city, right?
And different factions were probably arguing over who was going to get who, and like,
yeah, certainly sort of a first come first serve basis for a couple of you. We will cap off Janice's scene with a brief moment of panic on the scientist part.
Oh, okay.
Where when you are pushed like close to your limit physically and emotionally and stuff like that, there is a lot of science happens at the scientists that are studying the core.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Like sparks and explosions and like feedback of some sort from the core.
Oh, whoa, awesome.
So is that something wrong, or is that just Medea lashing out?
That's Medea feeling it. When that happens,
touch me.
I think Janice has been, growling this whole time while she's doing it, right? It's challenging for her to articulate herself smoothly because she's feeling irritated on it. There's definitely feedback coming from Medea at being rendered into parts and her power being limited, right? So I think when that happens, any of her minders or something, Janice would look at them with like a feral expression and say, all of this would be easier if we were whole.
You say that?
Yeah.
The sort of the one you've pieced together is sort of the lead scientist. It hasn't really been interacting with you, been ordering people about. Just flatly turns to you and said, that's plainly what we're afraid of. All right. You already do some downtime?
Yeah, you know it.
You have like at least a week of sort of nebulous time to float some events in.
Excellent.
More or less, like things will eventually get back to the status quo.
Yes.
Plus or minus. Like, we can do scenes of like, obviously there's some hanging things here of like 2 mechs have been sort of had things done to them. But yeah, things more or less over the course of a week go back to normal. Cool. From your perspective, you have no idea what's happening behind the scenes unless you spend your downtime doing that. So.
Yeah. Oh, and just to be clear, at the end of the week, is Medea going to be back whole, put together? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and you could like make a connection with Medea, like while it's being reconstructed.
Great. Okay. I think that's what Janice would be trying to do for sure. Because she's taken apart because of a choice that they made. And Janice, of course, feels partially responsible for that. It's like Medea's not, Medea's a sentient creature, right, in her mind and experience, right? But it's if you lead a dog in the wrong place and then someone's whipping the dog, right? You're going to want to, you don't just leave the dog to feel the pain.
Isn't there like a secret third thing for like a term about emotional intelligent creatures, like sentient sapience, and I thought there was like a third word that I'm trying to think of.
Not off the top of my head.
Because the mechs are neither sentient nor sapient by the like strictest definitions of there, but they have like a...
Oh, really? I think they're sapient though, right? Because sapient just means that you can solve problems and you have knowledge, and sentient means that you feel.
But that's the mechs are basically like pure emotion and drive.
Yeah.
So they're not quite trees.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk about EQ, like emotional quotient for animals.
Yeah. Anyways, so whatever you got downtime wise, start hitting me with some ideas.
Well, Lily is literally bruised, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like visibly beat to shit.
Yeah. Malphus shows up for the regular training sessions that we're doing now that you had no choice in. Takes one look and goes, new plan, and busts out the med kit. And like, we're going to sit here, we're going to fix this up. You're going to tell me who did this to you. Everything. Not that he cares about you, but
It's not like I like you or anything.
correct.
Yeah. Don't go thinking we're friends.
Yep.
So good. So good.
And I now have the veteran ability, and don't read into any of the words that are in here, just pay attention to the mechanics, called Constant Care from the Guardian, that says when you help a friend recover, but we're not friends, you also recover based on your role. And then when I gather info, you always ask, who here is hurting for free? Who here is hurting? End of question mark.
Are you
for
helping
free.
a friend recover?
Yes, that is the plan. And and I think I'm gonna try. Damn it, can't even get a sentence out. Probably to use empathize.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's new for Malphus.
Actually, he has always been good at empathizing, whether or not he uses it.
Yes.
Oh, do we have anything?
For caring, yeah. We have Esprit de Corps, so you get +1 to stun and to help someone recover. So you get extra die there.
Oh, hey, Chris, do I get 2 on that? Oh, wait, no, I'm not rolling sun. I'm rolling a sun skill. Okay.
A 6.
Bonus.
Yay!
Wonderful. 6 is great. That is 4 segments on the recovery clock.
Heck yeah.
AKA a whole recovery clock.
Yep. Which means I
So
also
I clear out one of my level 1 harms.
It's the tier.
Tier 1.
Oh, both of them are gone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And my shaken confidence is gone.
You're Gucci.
Yes. Woo!
My burned out nerves are finally dealt with.
All that punching realigned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
They're
I
in the wrong
keep
place.
my clock set at 3? Because that's what would have turned over. Even though I don't have a harm.
Yeah. I don't see why not.
Okay. So 3/4 of the way to healing whatever happens next.
Great. Cool.
But yeah, from my mind, it's a lot of like silent fixing up, and we're not going to actually really talk about this. But there's a look in his eyes of, yes, I too have disappeared with a black bag over my head and woken up with a bunch of bruises.
Yep. And on her part, it's just like, I couldn't tell you what had happened.
And I'm sure she's got that 1,000-yard stare of just like, okay, that's fine. We don't have to talk about it, but been there.
I forgot to do the Last Bastion actions. So the Leviathans are tier 2, so it's 2 actions. You don't have a current ongoing project for the crew.
Don't we?
Nope. We finished the mess hall and we haven't started anything new.
Yeah, nobody started one last time. So we don't do Pride. We do State of Emergency. Someone give me a
The 3 die
dice roll.
I can do it. Just a fortune roll. 3, you said? Ooh. Okay, I'm not rolling anymore today.
2 segments of readiness and preparations. And then the Bastion track is completed. We do that. So yeah, there's a few dots off. So another 3 dot.
That's how you do it, Craig.
Okay, the Last Bastion is good to go.
Look at that! Woo!
There's a citywide project of like, honestly, cover up, but clean up, and like, sort of
like a Men in Black style cleanup almost.
Yeah, and there's like a surprise emergency like feast and celebration day. Like
emergency feast.
This has always been on the calendar. It's the day that we celebrate. Like, obviously you don't like pray to Dionysus, but like in that sort of vibe, right? Yeah, great. 2 actions. Wonderful. And that Leviathan track is getting close.
Yeah.
So that's taken care of. We got Drew, 1 action. Everybody else, go ahead.
I don't know if there's a mechanic. Is there a way for Saraia to set up links between 2 other people? Like give Malphus a link to Janice and Janice a link to Malphus? Okay.
Nope. That's their choices.
Okay.
Because it's all based in like that like moment of intimacy. Right? It's not like you can't just like make a connection because it's supposed to be like extremely like secretive and private. And
you can make links to me, which anyone can use on anyone.
That's a good point.
Yeah, just for story-wise, Saraia is trying to push the relationship.
Yep, makes sense. I got a suggestion, Craig.
I mean, that could be something that Saraia is just doing. It just doesn't have a mechanical effect in the game.
Yeah.
But yes.
So Saraia would be talking up Malphus and Janice to the other.
Great.
During the downtime.
What I was going to offer is that if that's a part of what Saraia wanted to do, engage Janice. Janice was planning on helping Saraia recover.
That would be cool, actually, because Saraia's got 2 level 1 harms.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to take it in return if you wanted. We both got level 1 harm.
Sure.
Janice currently can't feel it because she has that guardian ability, so it's not a requirement. But I thought it'd be a cool exchange.
Yeah, no, that'd be
The
cool.
two of them are caring for each other.
I'm totally on board for that.
All right, awesome.
I have a question for Chris. So like that whole encounter was pretty stressful for Saraia.
Mhm.
So what was the fallout of that? Like, how does it end off to sort of status quo? Are people paying closer attention to how weird she is and that kind of thing? Or like,
How paranoid is she about it?
she's pretty paranoid because like if they force her to separate, that's going to kill her or close to it anyway. So she's always been trying to hide all that as much as possible. So
I mean, you have the capability of sort of just going about your duties and things like that, and for the most part, like, you don't know if it's better or worse that no one mentions it, but you are this whole time speaking with two voices.
okay. Yeah, so that's a problem. But if no
Fantastic.
one's looking into it, that's fine. So yeah, let's do a recovery for Janice.
Sweet. I'll give you a run in return. Now, what Chris just said to you about how there isn't any immediate indication, and Saraia might be feeling kind of paranoid, like when is there going to be a consequence? That inspires what I was, or supports what I was thinking Janice would offer her.
Okay.
Cool.
So if you want to help Janice recover, you get an additional plus 1d because she has out of time. And that stacks with the esprit de corps. So you get plus 2d.
Cool.
Plus 2d?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey.
Yes!
Critical.
And so what happens on a crit?
So that's 5 segments.
Sweet.
Now that'll clear off both of my level 1 harms.
Oh, and we each get 1 link. Yeah.
Craig, you don't clear yours. You clear hers.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yep. Okay.
My thing is,
yeah,
I
you
have a
each get
guardian.
1 link.
Sweet. And please remind me, you leave the extra segments on the clock, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. I think I remember you mentioning something like that at the beginning of the campaign.
Yeah, that's what we just did with Ash as well.
Okay, cool, great. 1, 2, 3.
And I get an extra downtime, so I was going to try and get some repairs on Icarus.
Well, you get 3 downtime.
Yeah.
So we're just going 1 at a time.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
So then, okay, great. That wasn't anything important. Janice says to Saraia after Saraia has helped her, right? She says, "All right, I have some advice. You just gotta go with the flow. I know you feel like things have changed because people know who you are, but nothing has changed. Sometimes," and she takes a deep breath, she says, "Sometimes you have to change to fit the world. Sometimes the world changes to fit you." And then she
I appreciate the sentiment, but the second part hasn't really been my experience.
Well, she nudges her shoulder and she says, "Just wait. I think the double voice thing might grow on people." And then she looks at you and with a husky undertone, she says, "It's certainly grown on me."
Oh my.
And then leads her into a dance.
Sure.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. Love it.
All right.
Heal your wounds through dancing.
Yes.
What's that?
Power of flirting.
Yeah. I'm thinking flow, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sounds great.
Sweet. Cool.
Just the physical connection is really important for
Power
sure.
of God and anime on my side.
That's what I thought I was remembering correctly. So Janice is trying to offer it in the context of you just need to move on. You just have to keep going. All right. So I think we get 1 die from the thing. 5.
Cool.
So
3
that
segments.
clears 1 and all the other one.
Okay.
Is it 1 per or is it 3?
It's 3 segments of the clock.
Okay. So if I
And
fill the clock, does that clear all or just one?
it takes all tiers down 1.
Okay, cool.
So a 3 becomes 2, all your 2s become 1s, and all your 1s become gone.
So that cures her of loneliness and her neck lacerations. So
Great.
awesome.
Don't forget that link you have with me, because I got
Mhm.
one with you
Mm-hmm.
from you getting a crit.
Wonderful.
Heck yeah.
Lily.
Mhm.
What you doing?
It's not like I don't think one of our activities that can really do, but what I want to do first and foremost is to check on my friend.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what that would do mechanically as like a roll.
In the sense of like you're investigating the city and how things are going and your friend.
Oh, like
Safety
gathering
stuff?
information, yeah, I
Could
guess.
make it as like a preparations of like. Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, I want to see like, were there any repercussions for meeting with us and helping us? Getting a general vibe of like the situation going on in the city.
Mhm.
How much people are being like, just the situation out there.
Okay. Yeah, if you just wanted to find out if your friend is okay, then yes, your friend is okay. If you want to like actually get a like dive in and find out more information about what's happening, then yeah, that's definitely like a make preparation / gather information roll.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Cool.
Like
I like that.
immediate beeline to check on her and her family, but like also, what's it like out there?
Yeah, I mean, it can be on this feast day, right?
Mhm.
This like state-sponsored surprise extravagant feast of bread and circuses sort of situation. What kind of action is this? Are you gathering the information as you go about this, participating in this feast and celebration and stuff like that in the city? On like 4 days after a lot has happened.
I think flow.
Okay.
I'm kind of just trying to keep my head down and just get a vibe.
Just flowing between thoughts and conversations and listening and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eavesdropping your way through a crowd is definitely flow.
Yes,
sure.
that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And I don't think I get any bonuses or anything.
Nope. A 5. You got a question and a follow-up? Is that right? Yeah. And 3 segments of readiness.
Okay,
back
good.
up into tier 3.
Getting us prepared for things.
Yep.
Actually, don't we have free
Yeah, extra ones. Yeah, we got 2, right?
equal to the Leviathan tracks? We'll actually have 3 of them.
Oh, sweet.
Leviathan is not tier 3.
Oh, I totally looked at Last Bastion. Yeah, so we'll have 2.
Yeah, if y'all want to make those real quick. I was just going to do them at the end or whatever, but...
I was just thinking about this one for Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could count. Make preparations as gather info.
Yeah. Well, for your special ability, you don't get the gather information. It just... Or do you? I mean, I guess you could.
These extra actions can only be used.
Yeah. To make preparation. So, yeah, it's a full thing. It's not just like add some readiness. Cool. So if you wanted to use this action as the one of those.
What is it? Where do I see that?
On the series creation sheet. The high alert ability.
It's gather info readiness rolls we're gonna make anyways.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I guess we'll
so
use that for this.
Cool. Yeah. So, what is your question?
I want to know what the people are saying in opposition to what they're being told to think. So, like, we know that they're being told nothing unusual happened. This is completely normal. What are people actually thinking?
There is. You overhear a lot of different takes, right? A lot of different conversations. Some people are just reveling in it in a very like nihilistic way of like, yeah, I mean, we definitely could have died, but that's like all the time, so it's fine. Just enjoy the drink up. Enjoy your grappe.
Yeah.
And others are like sort of finding moments to be like conspiratorial and stuff in this crowd of like speaking softly and like, oh, I heard that like there was a such and such was happening, and you hear just unbelievable stories. There's like one guy, there's like an Indus Nye guy on the corner of one street.
Yes.
Who just
with a sandwich board or
no.
Okay.
Like a tablet.
Yeah.
He's holding up, right? And his like unhinged conspiracy theory of what happened is startlingly close to what actually happened. And there's that moment where you like, is he a plant?
Yeah.
Is he there to make the truth look crazy? Like,
Yep.
what? Yeah. And so, yeah, there's the, like, I don't know if that fully answers your question, but like, yeah, there's enough of a sentiment right now of like, something's going on. This is wild. And like, some kids are like, oh, like, I hope we get to celebrate this feast next year too. This is a great holiday. And like their parents are just like, yeah, long running tradition.
I get the sense of how the people feel about us? Like, if we did get black bagged and didn't weren't public figures anymore, how would that go? How are people reacting to Malphus killing the priest on television?
That of course was doctored footage posted by rebellious
youths,
rebellious elements of society.
Yeah.
Our noble pilots would never do such a horrific thing.
Of course, correct.
The fact that it hasn't been seen in a few days, he's just on a business.
The fact that Councilwoman Xanthippe has stepped down due to medical reasons, and the religious order is working on electing a new replacement, is not to be looked at with any sort of scrutiny, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I said, there's just like, it's just a lot of like, it's a mess, right? There is a mess of propaganda being just like blasted at everyone, and some of it's conflicting from different sources. Some of it is actually the truth, but made to be sounding crazy. Like, so I think a lot of the vibe on in the city is just like, I hope the pilots keep protecting us, and we'll get through this like we've always done, right? My father and my father's father have survived in the city, and damn it, so will my children. At some point, that's kind of all that matters, right? Is that a satisfying answer?
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. Cool. Well, that's one. That's one readiness answer questions one. Did someone else have an idea of an avenue that they wanted?
I want to do some repairs on Icarus.
Okay.
Readiness.
I know Malphus will probably investigate what has happened to Sisyphus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can do that. How do you go about this?
I was wondering the same. I think he is going to legitimately just defy and just like march up there and just be like, you gonna throw me in a cell? What are you gonna do? I'm a pilot. This is a mech. No, I'm not allowed to pilot it. But it is a mech that may be an engine that may be piloted by the rest of my team, and it's currently bound up. I want to know what's going on.
Sure.
And just kind of like loudly ask questions, because somebody's got to give me an answer, or other people might start asking the same questions.
Love it. Malphus is such a dick in like the best ways.
This is how I act at work. Somebody starts doing
it's just professional Drew.
So somebody, I literally sent an email today and somebody was like, hey, could you do these new procedures? And I go, why are we not doing this one thing? Like all these procedures go away if you do this one thing. And I sent that email up to my boss. Why they can do this one thing and then my team doesn't have to do this laundry list.
Efficiency.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I got a 4. So for free, I'm going to ask who here is hurting? In reference on Malphus's end, the engines.
Yeah, you started march around demanding answers from humans for a while, and everyone does their very best to ignore you within sort of protocols of ranks and stuff, and they're like, well, I don't really want to like talk back to the guy that can get into one of these things and do violence at me with a scale of sort of
and hey, these are
grape squishing.
These are the engineers who've seen me knock out what's his name twice.
FELTs, yeah.
FELTs.
I think, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's within character for Malphus to get frustrated and just march over to the goddamn mech himself. And
he does like engines more than people.
You go over and try to like talk to Sisyphus, right? So to speak. And there's like, normally there's a little bit of like, even with an engine that you're not matched up with, there's a sort of psychic emotional feel.
The vibe.
Right? The vibe is there. It is not.
Oh.
And do you touch the mech?
Yeah.
The material of those black bands around him in various places becomes instantly and responsively viscous.
Whoa.
And prevents you from touching the engine. You find your hand suddenly within a sort of extremely cold, viscous substance. And you can feel... The best way I can describe it is you feel your soul being sucked out of your body.
Oh my gosh.
And you yank your hand back and...
Yep. Okay. What's Janice doing right now?
Yes, me. Okay. What would she be doing? Let's see. Let's say
I
that
get tons of
after
free questions.
Oh, fantastic. Cool. After helping Saraia recover, she would be, oh, you know what? If
We could
this
just be
might be
cuddling.
appropriate. She's wait, yeah, it could be cuddling. Totally. She could be cuddling right now. That's totally fine. The next thing she would go to do is try and make sure Medea is okay and
Okay.
form a connection with Medea. Like soothe Medea.
Mhm.
Right. Her approach wouldn't be anything other than soothing Medea.
Right.
So wherever in the timeline makes sense, it's totally okay if you find out that Janice is cuddling with Saraia, or if she's in this act of cradling a creature who's much larger than her instead.
Right. I like that.
I like the timeline of like Malphus has just been like marching around being a total asshole.
Yeah.
Like feels his soul get partially sucked out of his body for a moment and then turns
like,
around.
Where is Janice?
And Janice is just like full on like hugging the core of
Like a
Medea,
redwood.
just like
Yeah, that's right,
Just
exactly.
draped over it.
Yes.
Oh, you made a
that's
different
perfect.
comparison. I was going, oh, my soul is being sucked out. Hey, where is Janice?
Oh, that's hilarious.
The bane of
Oh,
my
I didn't
existence.
get
Where
that.
is she?
That is so funny.
Okay.
That reminds me. I like it, Malvin.
Yeah.
Like, my soul. Oh, yeah.
As for the actual,
and in a different timeline,
yeah,
a different
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Oh boy.
Excellent joke.
I get one question and one follow-up. So the actual thing, how can I gain an edge here? Excuse me. I don't know that Malphus is necessarily.
How many questions do you get?
I got 2 questions for free just because of different abilities, pathetic and constant care.
Oh yeah, okay, got it.
So I was like, let me go ahead and do those 2 real quick.
You roll a 4. How do you get so many questions? Cool. What was the question?
How can I gain an edge here? Specifically thinking about this device that is locking Sisyphus down, and like, man, Malphus got a taste of Sisyphus again, and was like, I need to get back in here. But this mech is locked down. This is a problem. It's a working mech. I know that it's just fine. So I need to figure out how to get past this lock.
You know that if anyone has any idea of what this substance is, the strange metallic ooze, ferrofluid is perhaps a word we could use. If anyone has the authorization to know about it, but would be on your side, it's
Persephone. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then that's because that's my follow-up too, because like, okay, yep, I'll talk with her later, but for now, go wash my hands off because that was unsettling.
Your hand's sparkling clean.
Oh sure, but don't feel good.
That's fantastic.
Most of the knuckle hair came off with it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Nair. It's a depilatory cream. So I'll dip our legs in.
Like, I feel like it's more like Nair if Nair were super glue. Sort of ripping.
It's more like wax.
Yeah.
Yeah. Janice, since we mentioned where you are.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, yeah, she's hugging the core of Medea. And what do you do? You're trying to soothe the beast. One that might have been hurt. I think Janice is there, and Janice is singing a lullaby to Medea's core. And it's one that Malphus sung to her once in the other world. And it was a song sung to young soldiers who were hurt in ways they didn't expect. That Malphus heard a nurse sing to those who'd been injured and were in, in the tent, having their wounds tended to, but still confused and afraid because they didn't expect it to happen to them. It's a simple lullaby that attests to their virtue and the value of their sacrifice, even if the hurt will never go away.
Sick.
Yeah, so I'm happy to roll with whatever you think makes sense.
It seems like confess.
Okay. Confess works for me.
Express is also.
All right. Let's roll express. Why not? Sweet. Oh, and get a free score. All right. Let me get that extra. All right. And yeah, you don't get extra dice for the engines appreciating. It's just the other characters, right?
Why do you get Esprit de Corps?
For rolling sun.
You're not rolling.
Oh no, sun. Sorry. Never mind. That's right. I made this mistake that
Yep.
Drew walked through and reminded us all is easy to make. It is not anything linked to sun. It is when rolling sun.
Right.
Perfect. Cool. So one die. Rolling it. Ready? Wow. 3.
A 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you get 2 links.
Cool.
With Medea.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of feedback emotionally as you're singing to Medea. And you have these like flashes of like you're like other timelines.
Oh,
maybe.
Cool. Yes.
You see yourself in a different city.
Wow.
You see yourself an ancient city. Your brain essentially understands like immediately like this is Athens.
Oh, cool.
And you feel this like massive emotional weight of the things that you have done.
Yeah.
And the tragedy that your life has been. As you take your first step to leave the city and venture off into the wild unknown.
Wow.
And then there is a like sharp cut back to reality. And this uncomfortable like hackles being raised of like this is too private.
Yeah.
Above table, basically you have just made a connection with the actual like the actual core of this mech, and it has sort of filtered through that cultural understanding of like who Medea is and the myth of Medea, right?
Wow. Yeah.
You were abandoned by your husband, and then you poisoned your children and ventured off into the wilderness and poisoned your husband's new wife as well. It's kind of the important part.
Yeah.
All of these things can be understood more if you go and read a classic 5th century play called Euripides. Euripides what? You might ask. And I will say, we don't do that here. We're better than that.
That's right. We don't have to.
Yeah, but like it's this understanding of like you were diving very deep, very connected, and the engine is like disassembled and vulnerable and like a cornered beast right now about that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that makes sense. Wow.
I will say, regardless of the role, obviously a more intense connection than you've ever experienced.
Yeah.
With any of the engines, but specifically Medea, and you feel that the scientists didn't find any. They did a lot of science at you, and didn't find science evidence, but you've got emotional evidence that, like, yeah, there's something different.
Okay, gotcha. All right, that's helpful.
I mean, not Greek myth, but there's some other sort of long-standing culture of what happens when you eat the golden apples, right?
Yeah. Medea's waking up, y'all.
Yeah. I actually really enjoy the like it's something I studied in college in one class, but the number of different like mythological tropes, so to speak, that developed concurrently on different parts of the globe that had no possible way of having been connected.
Yeah, very cool.
And this like sort of wild idea of like, is this just inherent like human lore that we will develop a story about?
Yes.
Fruit and knowledge and stuff, because it is in so many cultures.
Yes.
And sort of the, whether or not it's a good thing or bad thing to eat the fruit. Obviously, some disagreement there, but yeah. Specifically, I was thinking the apples of Idun from Norse mythology.
Oh, cool. Okay, gotcha.
Idun. Not Idun. I don't know. It's been a little bit.
Let's all play through God of War again.
Yes. It's been a minute. All right. That's 2 for you, right?
Yep.
2 good.
Thank you.
Who's got?
I got 2 up.
Do you then?
I do. I sometimes get confused. Can I do repair actions for Icarus?
Yeah.
Okay. Empathize, just to lean into the emotional connection.
For sure.
You can figure out what's going on.
Y'all were pretty tied in together last time, so
Pretty cool.
Okay, so that gives me 3. Yep. So that gives full health for Icarus then.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah, goes up to full and gets back to 3 strength. Wonderful. Yeah, and this is like you connecting and bringing it up to speed, but like this is a huge moment, and I think it gets propagandized a bit, which depends on your sort of take on whether or not it's undercuts your moment. But like, this is the first newly completed engine in a decade. And like, even though it's like it's had a soft launch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like just using a term, and then I was like, oh, but it's like goes into space, so it does get launched.
Yeah, it's perfect, and it's the wings and stuff. It's all great.
And there's like a lot of the like digital, like they're essentially just like posters around the city, but they're just digital frames to be, that like propaganda and like announcements and stuff pops up on. But a bunch of them are like this like really stylized like image of you and Icarus, like Greek lettering of like this is one engine that won't fly too close to the sun, and and like it's bad, and it's so bad. Cheesy,
it's
and
great.
It's like, wow, this fucking sucks.
You love
it. Yeah. Yeah, the art of the meme has been lost in this timeline.
Mm-hmm.
We're just back to like century-old propaganda techniques of like just make them look cool.
It's like the posters in Nimona.
Yeah.
And anyone else still have harms or anything that they?
I think everyone's good.
No, we split up the recovering really bit.
Yeah, you did good.
I have another action.
I still have 2 also.
Yeah, because I know you, and I just remembered that I used the gather.
The free
You
one?
did.
Well, wait, hold on.
You used it.
You get 2 action space.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a thing that gives you 1 more?
No.
Because you healed Lily as your first action.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, and then you gathered information.
And then you used
one of the free.
One.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how do you still have 2?
No, I only have 1.
Okay.
Ash said she has 2.
I thought you said earlier we all got 3. I was.
No, I start downtime for 2 actions because of my.
Okay, you start with extra.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've still got 1.
Craig gets 3. Everyone else gets 2. There were 2 free ones which have been accounted for now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Craig has 2 left.
1 left.
1 left, and then I've got 1.
Yep. Wait, hold on.
Yep.
Ash, you have not done a real one yet.
Oh, I've still got 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go to you.
Okay, if I've got 2 then, I want to make a links with Malphus.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like by the healing and the training, just kind of getting closer. Also, the shared tortures.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is empathize.
Yeah.
And I'm only rolling 1.
I think you get an additional die if it's something that the target character would appreciate, which is a yes.
I no longer get my bonus die when making a connection.
Did we finish making the mess hall?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Plus 1 die if they appreciate. So.
Oh yeah, and then 1 die if we're hanging out at the mess hall.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Roll the crit or a 5 school.
A 5. So that's 3.
3 links that Drew decided. How's this? Or no, you just get it. Sorry, I'm thinking of the other one. Yeah, the mechanics being slightly different in
Mhm.
different play settings is
Mhm.
starting to fuck with my brain. Because in that one you have like the person that you make the links with decides how the split goes.
Oh,
Okay,
in
yeah.
that one,
Too,
instead
yeah.
of the other person getting it in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have 3 of you now, just kind of as a
everybody has access to them.
growing closer, and yeah, everyone can use these.
Sweet.
Okay, and I get another.
Malphus
action?
has links with you, not
Okay, so I don't have Link to Malphus. Okay.
correct. Malphus has 3 links to Lily, which can be used on anyone, so that's fine.
Right.
Yeah, same deal. Okay. And for my other action, I want to finish repairing Diana.
Okay.
Oh yeah, cool.
What do I roll to?
It's a
Patch
busy day
ship.
in the patch up ship roll
Mhm.
Yep.
department. I mean, it
I
can
feel
be,
like they're going to be needed.
you don't say.
You know what's great about that is everyone's freaking out and they're asking questions, and as soon as they stop bothering us, we immediately ignore everybody else and mess with the engines.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're trained to do, yeah?
My plane. It's
Yeah.
my plane. I gotta polish my car. I gotta go wash my car. Leave me alone. Wax it.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, analyze, just very
Mhm.
mechanical, patching up any little errors or failings that I can find.
Yeah, because Diana's still in a little bit of rough shape.
She's down 1 strength, but only has 1 more
Yeah.
notch to be healed. And it is my favorite mech, so.
Mhm.
And that's your roll right there, that empathize. 5. Or that was the other one.
No, that's the previous one. She still has to roll.
Analyze.
A 5 and a 4.
Okay, so it goes 3, so it's got 2 bonus segments pre-healed.
Nice.
Okay.
Just pre-casting, it's fine. Alright. That's a pretty good, healthy lineup of engines there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all good on Lily. Got 1 more Malphus, 1 more Saraia.
Yep. Go ahead, Drew.
I've been going back and forth. And I think since everybody else is thinking the same, I might as well. And I'm going to go fix up Nemesis.
Yes.
What is that, is there any like resignation to that you have to like still go and fix this other mech while you're like, but I got a taste of the good shit?
It's for him. I think it's I'm gonna go check on Sisyphus and I can't touch it. And I think that's the look over. Nemesis is slick. I do like Nemesis, and I am allowed to fly that one without too much red tape. So I'm gonna come over here, and I also feel like Sisyphus is who Malphus wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
Clever and imperious, and Nemesis is who he actually is.
Fierce
And haunted, and very, very scared of what that surprise second impulse might be.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure we're gonna find out some more of those in the second.
Yeah.
Cool. Give me a roll.
I think he's going to roll Express.
Cool. Just talking to it a little bit.
Well,
that's unfortunate.
Just shy.
2 segments.
Yep. That's fine.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yep. Whatever damage we ding to it, it's just 1 segment to fix it up.
Unless it explodes. Saraia, round us out, and then that'll be time for us to wrap up.
Is it possible to resolve the dual voice thing, or is that just gonna hang around for a while? Can I use the downtime for that?
Yeah. In what context do you want to do that?
What
are you trying to figure out? What are you trying to solve? I guess.
I'm like the dual voice thing. I'm worried that it's going to expose Saraia to like she doesn't want to be poked and prodded, and people to be looking too closely into that whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking she was really stressed and very close to Eclipse during their last mission, so I feel like this might be a symptom of disharmony. So trying to
Makes sense. That's pretty good.
empathize to try and get everything back into sync. I know, like you described it as we're in too much sync, but there's still enough separation there that there's actually two voices coming out, which is not great from Saraia's point of view.
I will say this. Maybe I haven't done the best job of getting my point across. You personally, physiologically, spiritually, emotionally feel the most synced up and secure and like actualized in your sort of inherited relationship style of being in your body. The stress then is like it's all external, right?
Yeah.
So there's not really anything to fix, right?
Right, but she's still faced with the dual voice is in her mind a problem that could lead to unhappy things.
Okay.
If that's not if it's not a thing that she can really do anything about, that's fine. I'll build a connection with Icarus.
I promise to explain more, but
Okay.
I have ideas, and like I don't want to dive into the sort of feelings that are involved with like I've got to fix myself so that other people will accept me, right? Because like this is like you're to put it bluntly, you're borderline transcendent in your everyday mundane like self. And so like hiding your light under a bushel is like not really what I want this game to be about.
Okay.
If that's fair.
Sure.
If that kind of explains it a little bit better. So like doing something to externally solve the problem, very cool. I'm happy to do that. Like empathizing or like introspecting it away so that you don't have these things happening anymore is, I don't think, the right answer for us as a genre or show or
well, and what I was trying to approach it from is like to how you can like train yourself to raise one eyebrow, or you can train yourself to move one finger by practicing. So it's trying to do that so that she can try and speak with just one voice, or maybe switch back and forth.
That's great. That's a lot better framing for me.
Okay.
For sure. That makes it helps me get to where your head was at for that.
So how about a flow for that?
Yeah, that seems fine.
Okay. Hey.
And yeah, I'm gonna allow an unprecedented. You make links with yourself. Be this move.
Sure.
Just to give you like a mechanical use of your downtime.
Okay.
So get 4 links with yourself.
Heck yeah.
Okay. And just a reminder, I started downtime with 2 links to myself.
Great.
So that gives me 6. So I am
you got a
so
lot
in tune with myself.
lot of bonus dice. Does the sheet even have that many dots?
Yep.
Exactly that many. Wow.
I have
great.
exactly that many. Yeah. So that's actually really cool. Like Saraia is completely like in the zone personally. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get across.
Okay.
Like wanted to make sure. Like basically, like you each had some like really interesting things happen to you in the last mission, and I wanted to like remind ourselves of those sort of dangling plot threads as then we go into the next mission and
Okay.
like sort of climax the season and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like we didn't dive into it, but like Lily is still got some wild shit going on with like how much that like buzzing in the brain amount of like Prometheus energy has done, which I'm sure will be more evident when we get it back into the engines and stuff like that. That gets amplified. But for now, that's all of our downtime actions, and that is unfortunately all the time that we have this evening. But thank you all again for making some lovely scenes and like having some good reactions to things that have been sort of kicking around my brain for the last month.
It's really
and thank you all for joining us as always. We appreciate y'all being part of our community. If you'd like to join in, we've had a bunch of actually quite a few new arrivals to the Discord recently, so I'm glad to see people trickling in, and you're welcome to be one of the new ones if you want to come hang out with us. Link for that is eatinto.space. And if you find yourself wanting to support us, give us a little holiday present in the next month or so, feel free to check out our Patreon. Is staylucky.club. We use those funds to fund art for our upcoming return to Mage the Awakening. Some previews of which have been posted for everybody to see on Patreon. You can see how our characters of Into the West have changed in the last 10 years.
Dun dun dun.
As always, we love you all and glad to be back and having played tonight, and we'll see you next time. Stay magical.
Everybody.